What's up, my wizards? It's Dev, back again from SBMTG. I got a couple of more spoilers for you today. Today's the first official day of spoiler season, says Wizards. So we got 8 spoilers this morning. Let me run through these real quick for you. Some of them are pretty interesting, 2 specifically. First thing I want to talk about here is Clash of Wills. Yeah, this is a callback to Syncopate and Power Sync, but even when Syncopate was in the format a couple of years ago, it only saw 1, 2 of play, and sometimes 0 in the blue-white control decks. Back when blue-white control was a big thing, we had Supreme Verdict and Sphinx's Revelation. That was a really good blue-white control deck. And this, a card better than this didn't see much play. So I'm not really sure how much play it's going to see in a format that has Silumgar's Scorn and Dissolve and Dissipate, which we're not even using, and Nullify, Negate, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I feel like this is interesting. Second, third, fourth turn on the play, we can often counter whatever they're playing, but I've been playing Magic for a long time, and I've seen a couple of cards like this. They're usually popular, but this is the probably worst version of this kind of card that we've ever really seen. And especially on the draw, it's very bad. So I'm not really a big fan of this, although I think it's really cool. I love that they call it back to more classic cards, but I'm not really seeing it too much in Standard right this second, although it could see 1 or 2 of play in some control decks. Next here, I want to talk about Enshrouding Missed. Enshrouding Missed is also probably worse than some of the other things we have in the format that do similar things. Although, I will say heroic decks could make some use of this because it's just the 1 mana, and it gives the +1/+1, it'll put a counter on your hoplite, blah, blah, blah. So, but this is obviously not as good as God's Willing. It doesn't make sure your creature gets through, and it doesn't save it from, Hero's Downfall or Ultimate Prize. And it's not as good as a Johnny's Presence because it makes sure, it doesn't make sure we survive sweepers and things like that. So, all in all, I don't think this is a better option than either of the 2 things that we're mostly using in those decks. Now, post-rotation, we'll see what happens, but it's entirely possible that some of the heroic decks make some use of this, 1, maybe a 2 of, just because it's just the 1 mana, so it's probably about as good as Feat of Resistance, which some of those decks utilize as a 1 of. So, maybe, but probably not. We'll see. Let me go ahead and get through these. This is Knight of the Pilgrims Road and Rhox Maulers, excuse me. I like Renown. This is to showcase the Renown ability, obviously. Yeah, I would say, at least for limited play, these are especially good, and I hope that they cost all the Renown cards this way, because these are efficiently costed creatures in limited environments. A 5 mana 4/4, 3 mana 3/2, that's good already. And when you get the Renown trigger, it gets way better immediately. And I feel like this could be a runaway ability, we call them. Sort of, I can already get my 4/4 through for damage. Now I have a 6/6, so you're just going to run away with the game. Unless they draw some form of removal or bigger creature. But in most cases, I think that this is a really cool ability. It's going to speed up limited games, and the creatures are already efficiently costed. So that's a plus. And obviously no standard play for either of these guys, though. But there is another Renown creature I'm going to talk about. Why now? Why not? This is Relic Hunter. Relic Hunter, I think, is actually super good and could see some modern play, possibly standard, depending on what we see here in this spoiler. I'd love to get Loxodon Warhammer back, but that probably won't happen. I love Warhammer. Everyone else hates it. But in any case, this also can go get Godsend for us, which is kind of cool, because Godsend's awesome. But in Modern, we already see some sort of budget mono-white equipment decks, and this slots very well into those. A really good piece for that. So, all in all, I do think that this will see some play in constructed environment. It's already a 2 mana 2/2 that can become a 2 mana 3/3. We like those, But it's and a really good tutor ability on top of all that, even though you do have to get it through for damage before it tutors, which is kind of meh. But I do like the creature type on it. That's somewhat relevant. So a lot of things going for this card, and I think it probably will see some play. I like Relic Hunter. Let's talk about another card I kind of like. This is Send to Sleep. This is interesting right here. Sleep will usually hit, the actual card Sleep, will usually hit 2 or 3 creatures. This is half the cost. Instant speed is good. And that, people really underestimate freeze effects. Sleep, ice, freeze. People call them different things, but leaving a creature tapped for more than 1 turn, basically. People underestimate those, and again, this could see some play in heroic variants. I would not be in any way surprised to see that, because getting our creatures through for 2 whole turns of combat damage is insane. Especially we can do that on their turn. Untap on our turn, swing, say go, they don't untap again. It's just, it gets ridiculous quick. Usually you'll do this during their attack step. Their attack step, tap down those 2 guys, then they don't get to attack. You swing in, they go, don't untap, you get another swing. Cards like this are great, especially in limited environments, but even constructed decks that build around effects like this or can utilize them very well, Heroic being one of them, can utilize them well. So I like this card. Not a lot. I'm not fawning over it, but I do really enjoy effects like this, and I think it might actually find a place somewhere. This is a big old legendary dude. Let's talk about Karthaped, the Hoarder of Souls. I love Magic card names this set. I hated names in Dragons of Tarkir. Great names in this set so far. The Hoarder of Souls is a 6-mana, 6/6 flyer, and it's fair stats. I think we can all agree. But 6 mana is a bit much. Now, that ability is balmy, especially in Commander, and black is the color of removal, so if we can somehow drop this guy in conjunction with or on the next turn, killing more than one of their dudes, we can draw a couple of cards, and that'll give us a lot of advantage. Not only will we kill their dudes, we'll have more cards in our hands. That seems really good, but altogether, especially in Standard, I think this would be not entirely great. It's very removable, has no protection of any kind, and all in all, I think that it does block and trade with and attack into dragons very well, so that's cool. We're playing big flyers in this format, but all in all, I think it's fairly expensive, and drawing cards is awesome. So I'm a little ambivalent, but I think that cards like this hardly ever really see Standard play. We want our top-of-the-curve creatures to be hard to remove, finish the game out for us single-handedly, have some sort of trigger they have to interact with as soon as they enter the battlefield, some sort of immediate effect on the board state. This doesn't really do any of those things, so I'm not really feeling it on the top tier sort of constructed right now. Let's talk about the last card that I want to talk about. This is Languish, and I think it's actually good. A lot of people were disappointed. They wanted to see Damnation in this format, but Damnation would be really good, and we've already got Crux of Fate, so it's hard to ask for Damnation. But this, once you get over the initial disappointment, is actually a very good card. It's a safety valve for Ojutai and Pre-Monstrous Stormbreath Dragon, and just that in and of itself makes it a pretty good card. It's a lot of decks that play black might still play Crux in the main deck, and then maybe one or two of this in the side, but altogether, I think that this is actually a much better card than people are giving credit for. It plays a turn earlier than Crux of Fate in a format where we're playing a lot of comes into play tapped lands. So a turn earlier is very important. Not only that, but it kills pretty much every important creature in aggro. It kills Courser of Crewfix. Obviously, it doesn't kill Siege Rhino, but yeah, you know, it could be worse. I think that this is a really interesting card and could slot into, you know, black-red, black-green decks possibly. And of course, you know, your control builds, Esper and blue-black. This has a home in a few different things, and I do like this card. More than I did initially. I was disappointed at first. But I do think that this card will find a home in Standard, all things considered. Especially once we don't have Drown in Sorrow anymore. And it kills indestructible things, which we have to worry about. You know, Fleecemane Lions, some people are playing Gods. So there are definitely things this card does. And I'll say it again, Ojutai. Safety valve for that. So good card. Turn earlier than Crux of Fate. Okay, now I'm done. Well, that's all I got for you today. There may be more spoilers today, and definitely will be a lot of them this week. It's the official start of spoiler season. Friday, Sam Stoddard's preview card comes out. Look out for that, because he's the development lead on Magic Origins, so you can be sure his card is going to be an important card. So keep, subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and we'll keep you up to date with all these MTG Origins spoilers. And we'll see you next time, man. Remember to like, share, please comment and subscribe. We want to know how you feel about any of these. Maybe I'm missing something. I really like Relic Hunter. I really like Languish. Let me know what else you guys like, or if you don't like those cards, let me know that too. I'm Dev from SBMTG, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, Wizards.